Although much of the recent hype surrounding DeFi has focused on Ethereum-based projects, other networks continue to position themselves in the space. First conceived way back in 2015, Rootstock is a second layer solution designed to merge the benefits of Ethereum smart contract capabilities with the security of the Bitcoin blockchain. Teana was joined this week by Gabriel Kurman from IOV Labs and Manuel Ferrari from MoneyOnChain to find out more about the state of the network and its first dedicated stablecoin platform.
Thanks, Nisa. I'm delighted to be joined today by Manuel Ferrari, co-founder of MoneyOnChain, and Gabriel Kurman, co-founder of RSK and master advocate of IOV Labs. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. Pleasure to be here.
Great to have you. So we're going to be discussing DeFi for Bitcoin today. Interesting topic. I think that no one within the industry can have escaped the explosion of interest in what's become known as DeFi, with most of the interest really centering around Ethereum-based projects. Rootstock, or RSK, was conceived way before all of this started, and even before the 2017 ICO bubble. And I think the vision was the merging of benefits of Ethereum's smart contract capabilities with the strengthened network effect of the Bitcoin blockchain. So Gabriel, can we start with you? Can you tell us a little bit more about RSK? Who's the founding team other than yourself, and how did it come about?
Yeah, sure. So we also have Dieguito, Sergio, Adrian, Ruben, and Adrian as part of the founding team. And it's important to understand that RSK was conceived in Latin America. So it has this vision that comes why Bitcoin is so important, right? Before creating RSK, many of us were deeply involved in the Bitcoin community. Sergio was security auditor of the Bitcoin Foundation in the US and Ethereum. Dieguito created the first Bitcoin Center and the most important conference in the whole region with Rodo and Franco. So we were deeply involved in making sure that users and people around Latin America could benefit from Bitcoin, which is so important and so much needed.
Yeah. So where's the project today in terms of its roadmap, and how does IOV Labs fit into it?
Well, so as I was saying, from the beginning, the whole idea of merging the benefits from Bitcoin and Ethereum was to make sure that we could develop a DeFi ecosystem, a financial system that was so efficient and so programmable that could be used by any person around the world. And after almost 5 years in building this, we're quite excited about what's happening and what's going on in the space right now. From a technical standpoint, we reached around 50% of total Bitcoin merge mining securing the RSK blockchain. So this is a huge milestone, and we're always super grateful to all the Bitcoin miners that are also securing smart contracts and enabling DeFi for Bitcoin, because it's them who are providing the security. And also there's a growing, super interesting ecosystem of solutions being built also on the RSK ecosystem that we can also cover. From a technical standpoint, on the RSK team, we've launched the HSM, or hardware secure modules for the two-way peg. And we are in the process of launching the POPEG, which includes the security of the Bitcoin proof of work in the security of the two-way peg. So this is super, super exciting. We also launched the Armadillo security and and an Ethereum bridge with RSK. So now projects such as Chainlink and Dai are also making their tokens available on the RSK ecosystem through this RSK Ethereum bridge, which is quite exciting because basically joins all the communities together and all the different projects that are working in the same direction, this providing financial inclusion to the world. So we're super excited about these major projects on the Ethereum ecosystem, also making their services available on RSK through the bridge.
Yeah, well, we had Greg DePrisco from the Maker Foundation on the show a few weeks ago to talk a little bit about, DeFi under the premise that money is what underpins any economy. So it could be argued that Dai was an integral to the growth of the entire, DeFi movement. Manuel, can you tell us a little bit more about MoneyOnChain and your founding team, and how did it come about, and what have you guys released so far?
Well, MoneyOnChain being found with Max Cajusa, who is one of the other co-founders. Actually, MoneyOnChain was his idea. He wanted he's an all-time influencer in Argentina, in Bitcoin community, maybe one of the first person who did public talks about Bitcoin in Argentina. So he's a very well-known person here, especially in the Bitcoin. And he thought about building a stablecoin before Tether. And when Tether appeared, he said, well, okay, Tether did it. But he quickly realized that that was not a solution for a Bitcoiner because it's a centralized stablecoin. And he thought about the idea of building a decentralized. He waited for someone to do it. No one did it. And he knew Dieguito, the co-founder of RSK, for many years ago. And when RSK appeared, we talked. Actually, I was present there. We talked with Dieguito at early 2018 about building a stablecoin with Bitcoin as collateral. And he told me, actually, we built RSK because of that, because it's the technology needed for enabling a Bitcoin stablecoin. Well, we have the full support from Dieguito and the whole RSK co-founders team, and here we are. The stablecoin is running on RSK. It's the first 100% Bitcoin collateral stablecoin, and it has other things.
So how do the mechanics compare with something like, MakerDAO and Dai? And how do your leverage tokens work?
Well, it's a completely different financial model behind the smart contracts. It has three main tokens, or three main actors with different use cases. Of course, there is a stablecoin, which is the dollar on chain, which is, as I mentioned, 100% backed by Bitcoin and only Bitcoin. Then we have a token, which is a liquidity token, which is called BPRO. The BPRO is a token which is meant for Bitcoin holders, and it has a little bit of leverage that usually is between 1.05 and 1.20. So it has a free leverage, which is actually something that anyone would like in a token as Bitcoin. If you are bullish on Bitcoin, well, why not get free leverage on a bullish asset? Mm-hmm. And on top of that, it has what we call a coded income, a passive income. It gets part of the fees of using the platform. Anyone who uses the platform have to pay a very small fee, but that fee, part of that goes to the liquidity provider, which are the BPRO holders. Mm-hmm. And it gets also part of the governance tokens of the platform are going to get by these token holders. So it has several income sources to be a very interesting token for Bitcoiners. So it's a DeFi token meant for Bitcoin holders, long-term Bitcoin holders.
Yeah.
And the last one is, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
The last one is what we call the BTCX, which is a completely leveraged token. It's a position you set inside the platform, and it gives you a 2x long position on Bitcoin. So it's, for example, that token and the BPRO doesn't exist in other DeFi platform, not in Ethereum, not anywhere. It's a different model. And this is leveraged Bitcoin, but in a DeFi protocol. So these are the three main actors, and this being shown to be a very, very robust protocol in the case of a crypto crash, for example, as in March. In March, you know, other protocol had very difficult days. For our protocol, it was a normal day, no problem. They only been liquidated, the BTCX been liquidated because the price of Bitcoin went down 50%. But that is expected. If you have a 2x leverage position and the price of your asset is down 50%, you are going to be liquidated. Nobody was surprised for that.
Teana, may I add something?
Please.
So as a Bitcoiner, what I love about MoneyOnChain is first that is non-KYC, fully non-custodian, and users can only go and get liquidity against a smart contract. So this is like, it's being built, you can tell that it's being built by Bitcoiners. But the second thing is that currently in Latin American countries such as Argentina and Venezuela, we have a huge amount of demand for stable coins on a peer-to-peer basis. So not only to hedge on exchanges for trading, but for peer-to-peer transactions. So every time a Bitcoiner buys BitPro or BTCX, it's not only making a passive income under Bitcoin, but also enabling the construction of DeFi and a financial system built on top of Bitcoin. So this is what Manu was saying before, that is deeply rooted to the birth of RSK, and the reason why we built this, it's because these kind of use cases are much more needed in the emerging markets and around the world to create a financial system that includes everyone.
Well, tell us a little bit more, Gabriel, about the process of the merge mining RSK and how it leverages Bitcoin's proof of work security model. So, you know, how many miners or what percentage of the work are merge mining RSK, and how are they incentivized?
Yes, so the merge mining RSK is connected at the mining pool level. So we developed the software, and several mining pools around the world implemented. I think as of today is 8 of the most important mining pools that have already implemented. The percentage varies because the hashing power in Bitcoin varies a lot. So it goes from 40% to 69, I think was the maximum. We are in the process of onboarding some new very important mining pools. And basically, so RSK fees generated when executing smart contracts, 80% of them go to the Bitcoin mining pools that they can distribute to the Bitcoin miners later. So we built RSK in such a way that it was a no-brainer for mining pools to integrate and get extra fees and income from smart contract execution. And this creates a virtuous cycle where miners get higher profitability and they can invest in more hardware and make Bitcoin more secure. So RSK has been designed in such a way that every single stakeholder benefits if RSK is successful. So Bitcoiners will see more Bitcoins being locked and higher Bitcoin price. Bitcoin miners are getting more fees, and Solidity, smart contracts, and DeFi platforms have an alternative to also secure their platforms with Bitcoin proof of work. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So, you know, with some of the issues that Ethereum Classic has encountered over the past few months, does RSK become the best or a natural option for Ethereum users that still believe that proof of work is the best security model? And do you think that the upcoming release of Ethereum 2.0 will impact your projects? I'll pose that to both of you.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting, no? It's super challenging for Ethereum to move to 2.0 and change completely the proof of work to proof of stake. And I know for a fact that many projects running only on Ethereum are quite concerned about how that will affect their projects. Sure. In that sense, RSK has been built following Satoshi's advice and way of seeing the world. So we believe in immutability. not rolling back a blockchain, but also not changing the rules and the proof of work for the projects deciding to build as MoneyOnChain on top of RSK. Yeah, absolutely. RSK could be an option. It's an option now, and we don't see the world as you have to choose between one or the other. We believe that very important projects in the DeFi ecosystem should hedge themselves, should make sure that the projects and the users are safe regardless what happens at an infrastructure level. So we encourage every single project to use the bridge, to make their tokens and their services available on RSK to RSK and Bitcoin users. And regarding ETC, as I said before, we're working close to the team to see if there's anything that we can do from Bitcoin and from RSK to help the great teams building on ETC also. Because again, we believe that all these open source projects that are fully compatible, we are all working in the same direction. We are building these to serve billions of underserved and excluded users around the world. And the more the merrier, everything is open source, we help each other, we can merge our roadmaps, and this has been from day one our philosophy, working very close with other projects and trying to focus on the value that this technology is creating and not the technology itself.
Brilliant. I think you're also promoting an airdrop. So do you want to tell our viewers a little bit more about the airdrop, Manu?
Well, yes, we don't, it could be called an airdrop. It's more, what we want to do is to help people to learn DeFi for Bitcoin. So we are going to share a link afterwards for anybody who wants to use it. You need a code which is Coinscrum BPRO. So that's the code that you will need. And we will send the first 50 persons who wants to try DeFi for Bitcoin. We will send a little bit of BPRO, and then they will be able to exchange it for smart Bitcoins or dollar and chain or whatever. But the idea is just for people to be able to try it, to test it, to see that this is not science fiction, that anybody in the world can use it.
Both of you, Gabriel and Manu, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a fascinating conversation and a pleasure to speak with you both.